exclusion. Now, this is not saying that obesity is some kind of moral failing. Your mind and body are at war with today's environment. The modern food environment is much smarter than the apes that are currently swinging from chandeliers, and has a much stronger impact on your ability to live a healthy lifestyle than your feeble and exhausted willpower. Tabling any potential broader discussions about free will versus determinism for later, people do not make decisions in a vacuum. With fast food and convenience stores on every inch of every corner, even with convenience stores within convenience stores like some kind of obesity signaling nested Russian doll, all selling highly processed foods that lack nutrition and hijack satiety signals so you can deliberately overeat them, unwalkable cities, lack of city funding going towards public spaces like parks and recreation centers, malls closing, grocery store layouts psychologically priming you to make spontaneous, unhelpful decisions to increase profits, long hours of stressful jobs that only allow enough free time for the sweet release of a fresh bag of overpriced Doritos and a glass of wine while vegetating on the end of a couch with a streaming service before doing it all again the next day, and living with one significant other or more suffering from the same environmental triggers. All of these things and more work in concert to sabotage any attempts at weight loss. Oh right, and I forgot to mention that when you do somehow find your fortitude to start eating better and exercising and somehow manage to dodge all of these environmental triggers for a week or two, long enough to start losing some body fat, not only do you have to continue to parry those environmental hazards, but your body is going to fight you tooth and nail and wreak havoc on your entire life with its endocrine system, trying to get you to eat more at the same time. Decreased satiety signals, sleep deprivation, increased hunger signaling, increased irritability, and more will keep you unsteady and constantly remind you of the battle. So you'll have to continue to fight the environment in a physically and mentally weakened state, because your body doesn't know what's happening. It doesn't know or care about your intentions to lose weight and be healthier. It just wants to survive, even if its current state of survival is suboptimal and diseased. All your body knows is that it's losing precious energy stores in the form of body fat that it deliberately tucked away just for this moment of famine or artificial scarcity, and artificial scarcity that is only artificial to you. Of course people are overweight. So with that framing out of the way, this does not absolve people of some sense of responsibility either. Remember that genetics just loads the gun, but the environment pulls the trigger. Even if you lost the genetic lottery and carried every single gene carrying associations with obesity known to man, they would still need environmental triggers to activate them and properly influence your behavior.
So many millions of other people have suffered.
Oprah frames food noise as something that only obese people deal with, and this is nonsense. Everyone deals with food noise to some degree because we all need food to survive. Food is energy, and when anyone gets low on energy, their body sends various signals to their brain and body that energy stores are low and need to be restored to familiar levels for proper functioning. But the idea exists on a scale. For many obese people, they exist at the extreme ends of the scale, less due to genetics and more due to being selected by their obesogenic state. Food noise will increase for any person that goes on a caloric restriction diet for any consequential amount of time. Everyone has a baseline level of hunger signaling, and anyone's preoccupation with food can be enhanced by an energy deficit, their environment, or both. Guess what kind of person tends to quite often be on caloric restriction diets, both intentionally and unintentionally? Ding, 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 ding. If you said an obese person, you win. An obese person will be selected to have a higher degree of food noise due to frequent dieting attempts. In other words, repeated dieting and weight cycling can amplify hunger signals and a person's preoccupations with food. Now, I'm a 90s kid that got to witness Oprah's rise during that era and people's obsessions with her lifestyle, including her frequent battles with weight loss. Oprah, does any of this sound familiar to you? Let's define something essential to this topic that we all learned about in anatomy and physiology in high school, but it's one of those things we hardly think about anymore, like the periodic table, the quadratic formula, or Kanye West. Let's quickly talk about homeostasis. From dictionary.com, homeostasis: